What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? As promised, we're going to go ahead and get this thing started for you guys. We have the pop up show for the Atlanta Falcons schedule and expectations for this season. So sit back, relax. We got you covered. Let's get to it.
Okay, y'all, this is it.
What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy, the historian. We're going to go ahead and get to it or whatnot. I just posted the link in the chat. We're going to let the fans come in here. We're going to talk about the scheduling for the Atlanta Falcons. So at this point, when we sit back and we look at everything, the Falcons are definitely in a situation to where they can reel off at least 10 wins. But before I go ahead and get started, I want to sit back and tell a special thank you to Mr. Ollie Johnson for coming into the Birdcage tonight, giving us time to discuss his career and just tap into a little something with him. And those who tuned in tonight, thank you. This is a little something extra that I'm going to do because it's only right that we go ahead and talk about it. Everybody else has had a show for it, but guess what? We're going to do it Birdcage style. So again, we can only do it like we do it. No disrespect to nobody else. We definitely respect it, but hey, we're going to go ahead and do it in our own way. So, as I said before, I provided a link. Y'all can go ahead and tap into it and come on in and talk about the Atlanta Falcons schedule at this point. For me, I think one of the toughest things that you're going to have to deal with at this point is really seeing what's what. And when we talk about the Falcons, it's one of these things where it's like, good Lord, we have to win games because Myles Garrett came on here yesterday and he spoke on a lot of things when it came to the Falcons. And the one thing that you can say is consistency has to be key with this team. You know, it's key. And until we can be consistent, we're going to consistently be depressed and miserable. And that is something that we're not trying to do. And I'll say at this point, we could just sit back and just say, wow, the Falcons really did something good in the offseason, but this schedule is not going to get any easier. And it's just what it is. All I can say is I think the toughest games that we're going to have, one's going to be in New England, the other one's going to be in Minnesota. Buffalo's going to be tough. And it's just so many things that come with it that are just going to mess everybody up. All I can say is, wow, this has been an incredible offseason, but this has also been an incredible season when we look at it. That's getting ready to come up. So I'm also getting ready to share the link on X as well. So for the Falcon fans that are on X, I just posted the link on there as well. I'm going to post it on Facebook for some of the other Falcon fans too that are watching to tap in. And then, of course, it's already posted in YouTube. So we're going to get to it. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the schedule because I can't wait to see what everybody's expectations are. And when you look at the Falcons, many expectations. At this point, Michael Penix Jr. is not a guy that I'm going to put all the expectations on. I just can't do it. And when you look at this team, there are many things that we're going to have to do a little bit differently coming up this season. So let me go ahead and pull up the schedule on the screen for you guys. And this is the Atlanta Falcons according to the Atlanta Falcons page. So as you can see, we're still around here trying to get some things. So you have the preseason coming up. None of the starters are going to play in the preseason. It's just what it is. It's something that you can sit back and say you understand why it's happening. You understand what's going to happen. And you really realize because of what happened with Braylon Trice last year, you're not going to get much production when it comes to the starters. This right here is going to be for the individuals who are pretty much going to be trying to make this roster. They're going to be special teams players. They're going to be guys that are trying to not only make this squad, if they don't make out, they're going to try to have some footage to make another roster. So a lot of the undrafted free agents that we took from Kobe Bryant, Nick Nash, Simeon Barrow, the tight end Smith, all these guys are going to be playing in the preseason. So we're going to get to see what they're made of. The first round picks aren't going to really play too much. And as I said before, I posted the link in the chat. If you want to come in, tap on in. But again, I'm going to be on for about 15, 20 minutes. A little something for you guys. Really, I'll do 30 minutes just to be on the good side. I'm going to do 30 minutes tonight. And if you want to come in, you can. I'm going to also talk about the expectations. Some of the expectations for this team is to pretty much win the division. We have a weak division. Outside of having a weak division, we also have the division champ that we swept last year. There was no way in hell that we should have been in a situation to where we got swept. I mean, that we didn't get into the playoffs. Raheem cost us with the timeouts. Jimmy Lake also cost us. We blew a division lead. We know the story. How do we bounce back from this? And how do we learn our lessons and come back next year and put ourselves in a position to win? That's the question. How do we win? Not only how do you win, how do you put yourself in a spot to where not only do you win ball games, you put yourself in a position to be competitive for possibly a championship run. Yeah, I'm saying it. I know it sounds crazy to you, but I'm at that point and I'm at that place where it doesn't matter. I'm going to start speaking this into existence because right now we don't have the luxury. We don't have the luxury of being in a position to, we don't have the luxury of being in a position to where we're going to be easy with everything. It's not going to happen. It is not going to happen. Everything is going to be tough. It's going to be hard. And when you sit back and you look at this team is built for attrition. Now, we have to trust that Raheem Morris can bring this out of him, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. So with how the Falcons are set up right now, there's a lot of things that are going to have to fall into place. And when we talk about everything falling into place for us, what's going to have to happen is the Falcons are going to have to be consistent with not just winning, play calling, special teams, all three facets of the game. The front office has given Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris a green light. We were able to flip draft picks, and we were able to put ourselves in a position to get two number one draft picks, and then you grab the two best safeties out of the draft, and then you get a top line out of this draft, and then with the undrafted free agents, you just went bananas. What can we do to improve for this year? How do we handle Kirk Cousins? Is Kirk going to stay here? Do we keep him buried on the bench? Do we let him play out in the preseason? Or do we let the other guys play out in the preseason and save Kirk and knock on wood, are we going to be in a situation to where we're going to have to rely on Kirk if McGarry can't hold up and Penix gets hit and he might go down? I'm not praying for that to happen, but we have to think of all the scenarios. We're already trying to get rid of Kirk. I get it, but at this point, $180 million, he's going to be buried on the bench, and he's going to be a backup quarterback. Now, next year, 2026, we get rid of him. But other than that, no. We got to have him into a situation, and man, it's just one of these things. And the beautiful part about this whole thing is there are no expectations. Penix is a rookie, technically, and he sat and he learned. He didn't get thrown into the fire. And I think that plays into Atlanta's favor when it comes to this season. No expectations. You're in a situation to where you can actually do stuff. And the best part about this whole thing is we are definitely looking at, I would say, a 10-win season. Last year I said 11 wins, which could have happened, but I'm going to be bold to say it's going to be a 10-win season. That's my high expectation for this team because we have continuity. Not only continuity, we have so many other weapons that we've just added to this team. The question is, can we put ourselves in a position to win games? Can we win these close games? Can we put ourselves in a position to win blowout games? Can we get our defense off the field and give our offense the ball back? So many questions have to be asked. So many questions have to be answered. And I'm sending this, to a few people that had me on their shows the other night. And it's okay if they don't come on, and I'm fine with it. I think the reality of the Atlanta Falcons at this point is this. You must put yourself in a position to not just win games. You've got to be able to dominate a weak division, to send a message to the NFL and let them know that we're nothing to be played with. And when you look at the Falcons at this point, we've had, how can I put it? The Atlanta Falcons have 5 primetime games. So that is the way of the league telling you that they believe that the Falcons are going to be a dangerous team. They feel as if we're going to be in a situation to where we're going to win games that we're supposed to win. But without this here, welcome to the cage. I got to bring in one of the guys that is definitely a good buddy of mine, and I love his passion for the Falcons and really Atlanta sports. But we all know him as John, the Crooked Deacon Harris. All we waiting on now is for my man John to break out that 2x4 for training camp. Welcome to the cage, my brother. You got your 2x4 ready.
Oh man, I got a baseball bat in the trunk. I'm in the car, and I'm just just exercising my little Camaro right. Here I'm down in Birmingham. I usually just run back and forth here just to let him breathe a little bit. But I carries my baseball bat for all occasions. Okay.
Hey, man. I'm with you on that, John. You got to carry that bat, buddy. You know how it goes.
And see,
what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna pull up this schedule because I know you guys talked about it a little bit last night, but like I said, I got to do a little something for the schedule for right now for the fans, and just got to make sure it's out here. So we're looking at these games right now. I just put it up on Twitter, or X as they would say. All I can say is Simeon Barrow Jr. to me before we get into the schedule. And I've talked about him. That's the defensive lineman I told you about out of Miami. John,
right.
He's got a motor that continues to run. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest steals with helping out with our depth on that defensive line. Seriously. And he doesn't like to lose. So, again, when you talk about this kid, motor is nasty, and he's got a mean streak. What lineman we had to really have a mean streak on this team? really since John Abraham, honestly, and Babineau.
Oh, oh man, it's the SS Babineau, like West Durham always calls him. But it's been a while, and I spotted last night. I think you had left. I spotted we got a big boy,
Mm-hmm.
6'4", 335. I can't remember what his name was, but it was some. Yeah, no, defensive lineman, nose tackle, listed as a nose tackle.
Oh, hold up. I'm gonna try to pull him up. I know who you're talking about.
And see, I didn't, and we picked him up last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we actually did. He was a problem. I can't think of his name right now. It'll hit me when I probably get off the show tonight, and I'm
Yeah, yeah. I was just scrolling the roster and depth chart or whatever yesterday while everybody was talking about what they were talking about, and I just happened to spot him, and I asked them, "Hey, have you heard of this dude?" Yeah, we picked him up last year. Blah blah blah. I said, "Well, oh man, I didn't know we had him." And see that hybrid. Well, I hate to say amoeba defense. They're thinking about playing.
Dump truck in Philly, as you would say.
Yeah.
He one of those.
Yeah, and see, it's just one of them. But everybody else, just like you were saying, the man that you were talking about, defensively, we should be the fastest defense in the NFL. We should be the fastest or one of the fastest defenses in the NFL. And, I really want to bring the smoke, the hitting back like it was when it was legal to be dirty. With Keanu Neal that would launch himself like a missile from one side of the field to the other. And, we've been missing that for a very long time. And I've been missing this gentleman.
Yeah. His name's LaKell London, 6'4", 330 out of Western Illinois. Yeah. And before I let you cook, I just brought in one of your other partners or whatnot. We got C Double, who definitely is about all the madness as you can get. We got the high test and we got the madness up in here tonight. So I appreciate y'all coming through, man. I always try to support you guys. Y'all know normally we're not on late like this, but we definitely love having you guys to come through and give you guys a chance to jump into the cage, man. Y'all are extended family, man.
No problem, Ryan. No problem, man. Hey, what's up, John? I didn't know if you were you throwing bouquets at the Falcons or were you about to throw a bouquet at Matt Ryan? I didn't know.
See, now there are certain subjects that people already know. Don't please let the bear rest in his den. I don't want to poke him. I don't want to poke him.
John, leave him alone. I knew C-Dub was gonna set that up, but we also got my other partner in crime that's been around since day one of the Birdcage when we were on Facebook. We got Mr. Anthony White in the building.
What's up, Mr. White?
And what's good?
Yes, sir.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Well, we got a full look. Everybody's starting to come in slowly. We starting to pull people in.
Hey, man, bring them on in. Bring them on. We're like Rick James. We're like Dave Chappelle, just like Rick James. We're just telling them, come on in.
Yeah.
So,
see, man, I was on the expressway. I got off at Buc-ee's down here in Birmingham. I said, "Oh, this is a nice lighted spot. I can talk with Ryan. Got a good doggone signal, and I'll be here, until he throw me off because see, man, hey, this is one of my favorite places down here."
Oh man, that Buc-ee's, man, that's something. I'll tell you.
Hey,
I'll be going there tomorrow.
Maybe we can get them to sponsor the Birdcage. Y'all keep telling me that. I might have to try to get that sponsorship from Buc-ee's.
I'm serious, man.
Hey John, all the free briskets. Well, not free, but all the brisket sandwiches that's gonna sponsor the damn party next time.
Hey man, yes sir. Brisket, that turkey.
Missed out, but I gotta ask you something. So we got the schedule up. We already know that, and I said this on C-Dub show. We're not getting no starters pretty much in the first 4 games at all. I believe we might get one series out of them in the last game, so they can at least get a little rhythm. But I think happen. Let's get into the season because I ain't even gonna waste time on the preseason, honestly.
Yeah.
What do you think the toughest games on this schedule are gonna be, and what do you think is going to be an Achilles heel for the Falcons that they need to get over for this year? I'm gonna start with Anthony first. Got to start with Anthony because he just got in. I'm gonna rotate it with John and then C-Dub because I know C-Dub gonna give something. I might get flagged for it, but it's okay.
Me too.
You shouldn't be flagged.
I'm sorry.
What's up, Ant? What you got?
I think truthfully, any game with a top quarterback, that be Buffalo, Los Angeles Rams, Washington, Jake Daniels. We got a young defense, man, and I love the fact that it's exciting and it's fast, but it's young. Young defenses make mistakes. So I'm not saying we can't win those games, but I think any game with a top quarterback, Buffalo Buffalo, I think Tampa Bay, because Baker Mayfield's pretty good. Buffalo, Washington, Tampa Bay. Those are my three toughest, and the Rams too.
That was mine from earlier, and C-Dub can tell you.
Yeah.
Reason I think the Rams is good, and I'm about to pass it to John, and then we'll go to C-Dub. When you look at it, the Rams always start off slow, but they get high for the season, going to the end towards the end of the season when they're making those pushes. So yes, I'm with you on the Rams. I'm gonna let John go. John, what do you have, man? Games and what tough games do you have?
The toughest team on this schedule, if you've been paying attention to me ever since I've gone on television and on radio, the toughest team on this schedule, they beat us every doggone year. I mean, they just wear us out every year. Y'all know who it is. The Atlanta Falcons. That's the toughest team on this schedule. Nothing on this schedule as opponents concerns me. None of that concerns me. But the Atlanta Falcons, man, the Atlanta Falcons will beat us like we stole something. And we'll go in the alley to get robbed. We'll take a 2x4 and beat ourselves up, and the robber just stand there and look at you, and then take the money from you once you get through. The Falcons will beat themselves to death. And if you examine and look at all of the games that we lost last year, it was only one where it kind of got away from us. Okay, about one or two that got away from us. But all the rest of them were within reason and within reach, where if we had taken care of our business, we could have won the game. So that's the team that I'm scared of.
C-Dub?
Well, I'm actually pulling up my computer because I actually wanted to just look over some things. But, Ryan, you brought up the Falcons, their season, and something that I brought up, if you remember, is that the Falcons, are hot starters. All right? Or we like to get on a roll early. All right? I don't remember us really getting hot at the end of the schedule. And the other thing is, we want to talk about games that could really hurt the Falcons. It's what John just said. Look at the teams that may not even be in the playoff race. Look at New England. We could overlook them and get our butts drummed by them. We could overlook the Arizona Cardinals and we get drummed by them. The Falcons, one thing I remember saying about Raheem Morris before coming in was, will you be able to beat the teams you're supposed to? We didn't do that last year, and I still feel, because think about it, we swept the Buccaneers. Everyone's like, oh man, we beat Tampa. But we didn't beat the Saints or the Panthers when we needed to. And those two games hurt us the most, as well as Washington, but we all know what happened with that. So when I look at, I kind of am jumping with what John's saying, but I'm looking at those games where, you know, and Anthony, you're right about the top quarterbacks, but honestly, if you lose to the top quarterbacks, you know what we're going to say? Well, that's um, that's Allen. That's, Stafford. That's, these guys know how to win. We can't say that about Drake May. We can't say that about, Murray, even though we could. You're not going to say that about Justin Fields. All right. Sam Darnold should not whoop this defense. Daniel Jones should not be in Germany beating our brains in. But these are the kind of games I look at and I go, think about that game I'm looking at, against the Dolphins and the 49ers and the Bills. If you survive that little streak, well, then you're going against the Dolphins and the Patriots. Those games could trip you up. That's what I'm looking at with the Falcons. Can we, fix what needs to be fixed, which is the simple things?
Okay. So when you say, you said can they fix the simple things?
Yeah.
I look at it like this. I think the Falcons have, I said the Bills, the Vikings, another team that's going to be tough, the Patriots, because we don't play well. Yep. And then the only thing that's going to help us out is we got a quarterback that played college ball in the cold weather, whether if he was playing in Indiana or whether he was playing in Washington.
If you're wondering why I'm squinting, I don't have my glasses on, so I apologize. So I'm still here with you.
So I'm going to do this here because I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Hold up. So we can see that a little bit bigger. And then
I appreciate that.
And then I'm going to tell you who else who's going to be tough. The team that is going to be tough outside of that is going to be the Tampa Bay Bucks. Because we swept them last year. And when you look at it, they're going to try to get their lick back. And this is just what this is. When you look at the Atlanta Falcons at this point, we're a tough team. But the thing about this team is this. We have to flat out beat folks. You have to flat out beat folks. That is what that's what we have to do. If you can't flat out beat a team, you have no business being on the field. We're going to have to win close games this year. And we're going to have to win a couple of things, and we're going to have to win some games where we got to show some dominance, where we control the clock, and where we fire his arms. So those are my games that I have.
Yeah.
And at this point, I see a lot of expectations that people are coming out with because the season is starting. Here's my thing. Expectations we don't need to have expectations for this team right off the bat.
No.
And I'm gonna put us back up here. You gotta let the rookies grow. There's rookies, and then you gotta remember you got a rookie quarterback on this team because he's only played 3 games. Only 3 games. Yeah, he got comfortable, but you have to realize that he's gonna make rookie mistakes. He's gonna mess up. He's gonna do things that's gonna piss you off. And John, you're gonna be ready to go to by him some days. But you gotta remember, this is his first full year starting. So expect that we're gonna have mistakes, but he's also gonna make plays the way you're gonna be wanting to hug him and take him to Waffle House. Just being honest.
Yeah.
And Anthony's been heavy on the Penix train, so is K-Dub. And we sit back and we look at it. I'm getting ready to remove the schedule real quick. And let's just be honest, man. When you look at the Falcons schedule, like everybody said, it's been weird schedule. But there's still a lot of things that we can do on this schedule to put ourselves in a position to have a division title and a good playoff season if we're competent.
I just don't like that early bye, by the way. What do y'all think about that bye, Ryan?
I think
week 5 after a bye at week 5. What do you think?
You got to get. And remember this: we didn't get a bye week until week 10.
Yeah.
And you remember how the defense was dragging, and remember how we had guys banged up. I don't like getting it that early, but let's be honest. you got a chance for your guy. Because think about it, the first 6 games are going to be brutal. Let's be
Mhm.
honest. So you're going to need a bye week to rest up from these wars that we're going to have at the beginning of the season. So I understand why they gave it to him. I know y'all don't like it, but just think about the teams we playing in the first 6 games.
Bucks, Panthers, Bucks, Vikings,
Washington.
Panthers, and Commanders. Yeah. So
And they all going to be dogfights. John?
Now, I sent a proposal about 4 or 5 years ago to the league that there's a way for everyone to have a bye week between weeks 7 and 9, where half the league would play and half the league would be off 1 week, and then the other half would play, and the previous 16 teams would be off. And put the bye week at the same time for everybody. Because spreading this bye week the way that they do, it works out sometimes it doesn't. Okay? And depending upon how injuries take place or various other factors take place, it's a boon for some and it's a curse for others. Because of the fact that you can get back healthy or get a person back at a stretch and you can't predict these things, and these things just happen about injuries and various things as far as losing or winning with teams and stuff like that. But I don't like having a bye week after week 5, because if you were trying to gain a rhythm, every time you try to gain a rhythm, and you might have lost week 1, you might have squeaked by week 2, and week 3, week 4, week 5, hey, you on the road, you blowing people out, and you take off early, trying to get that momentum back, or supposed or alleged momentum back. Sometimes it's difficult. But it is what it is at this point, the way that they're doing it. So you got to. These are the fleas that come with the dog, like I always say. But the thing is that in light of what you're saying, Ryan, I am not going to be as critical as I would be about a second-year quarterback or the coaching staff. Now, last year, the coaching staff cost us some games. Some decisions were made in games with the coaching staff, offensive or defensive coaching staff, and especially the defensive coaching staff. Based on what you guys discussed last night, Ryan. They cost us some games.
Hey, John, you got a little feedback coming in, man.
Oh, I do. How am I sounding now?
A lot better.
yeah.
Okay,
I can hear you.
that was my fault. I had the darn microphone. I keep forgetting about these iPhones. The microphone's at the bottom, and I had it on my stomach. I am sorry, ladies and gentlemen.
So your stomach growling for that Bucky's.
Yeah, man, they want some of that ribeye.
that prime sandwich that they got up there. That's what it's growling.
Look, they get like a horde of people to carry that sucker too, man. I can see John trying to get that into his car too.
John probably got 2 of them in the back seat.
Yes, he does.
Since I don't get down here as much, I have to stock up for about a week, because man, look here. That turkey sandwich, as well as a keto meal down here, man, I would eat that every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But like I was saying, I know for Michael Penix, there's some touch that he needs to put on the ball. There are certain things that he needs to learn to do, because he can't throw 90-mile-an-hour heaters all the time. Your wide receivers can't stand that. Sometimes he'll throw them and break their hands apart. But the thing is that there are certain situations where it calls for it, and then there are other situations where it doesn't. And learning the difference between those times and being coached and mentored and brought along, hey, that's what needs to happen, and I'm hoping for this, as well as our running game being as good as it was the previous years, to bolster him and keep us afloat, as well as change the narrative about the team. We have changed it, but I want people to be scared of us when we line up and get ready to run. I want people intimidated. I want to be like New England in that heyday. You just
Okay,
get 10 points just coming off the plane.
John, do me a favor. Drop
Uh huh.
down, drop out, and come back because I think your microphone is still sounding funny. I'm hearing that dragging feedback.
Okay. All right. I'll do that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm right here.
yeah.
So
We'll
we'll
take.
bring John back in a second. So, fellas, so Ant, you can come off mute, man.
Yeah,
John, yeah. So while we sitting here talking about it, I'm gonna bring John back. So John, come out, go out of the studio and come back in or
yeah.
whatnot. That'll do it. So when we look at everything that John was saying, we have two Monday night football games. You have one
Mhm.
against the Buffalo Bills at home, and then you also have another one at home with the Rams. How do you guys feel about these two Monday night games at home? And what do you think the league is saying to us when it comes to the Falcons at this point?
Mm.
Um, you want to go first, please?
They gave
No,
us
go
the
ahead.
league gave us
Go,
five
go ahead. Aaron.
primetime games.
Yeah, go
One,
ahead,
and
Aaron.
we also got a Thursday night game too.
I was very surprised about the number of primetime games. I was shocked. And the league, that's telling me the league thinks that Michael Penix is going to be box office right now. Like you said, Ryan, he's basically a rookie. It's his first full season. He's going to struggle at times. He's going to make mistakes. But the league is trying to build. They're trying to get a young guy out there, a young star somewhere to build off of. Patrick Mahomes still here. Obviously, the guy's still here, but they want new blood to come on. And now the Falcons. I mean, considering we ain't made a playoff in 7 years, the fact they got five primetime games really shocked me. I'm not gonna be on. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm thinking the league is saying, okay, we see Atlanta down there. They got Mike, they got Drake, they got Bijan, they got the offense, but they got a young, hopefully exciting defense. They made moves. People not seeing that the Falcons all of a sudden went from one of the oldest teams in the league to one of the youngest teams in the league. So now we're a very young football team right now. We're an exciting young
Mhm.
football team. We're very young. So I'm thinking the league is saying we can build. We can go to Atlanta now and see the crowd there and see the guys in there playing. But I think they're saying that it's time for Atlanta to start moving up, and I think it's time to move up. I mean, it's time, like you say, Ryan. You say boo boo get off the pot, bro. You say it all the time, bro. Like it's time for them to do something.
That's my whole thing. At this point, you have no excuses. You're in a situation to where you really are stuck in trying to fix things at this point.
Yeah.
You're stuck. And the
Mm-hmm.
only way that you can become unstuck is putting yourself in a situation to where it's just that's all I can say. We have to get better. Really, we have to be better. And all these rookies got to grow up quick.
Yeah.
All these rookies
Um.
got to grow up quick. And unfortunately, the one thing that we're gonna have to rely on at this point, and we got to make sure they got to learn how to use Tyler Algier a little bit more than what they've been using him as.
Man, say that
I
again,
Yeah.
love.
Ryan.
I mean, look,
Say
Bijan
it
is
again,
growing
Ryan.
on me like a fungus. It's just
Come
what it
on.
is. Because I wanted
Oh
Jalen
wow.
Carter. Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
I'm
bro.
still, I'm
Ryan, I'm
still,
still there
I'm
with you,
still
brother.
gonna say it.
I'm still there with you, brother.
He
Bijan is a great
growing on
player.
me, but there's still some stuff I still want to see out of him a little bit better. But
There's
I
no
think
problem
he's a
there.
phenomenal, and for him
No
to be a
problem.
top back, a top five back in the league says enough about his talent. But I'm gonna tell you up front, I'm not the guy that cares about the splash plays and the flashy stuff.
Nope.
I prefer being the guy that loves the stuff that most people don't like. I like the trenches.
Oh yeah.
I want to beat up on people. I want to dominate games. I don't want to have the highlights on Sports Center. My
Can I
highlight
say
on
one thing?
Sports Center needs to be this organization holding up a Lombardi trophy at the end of the season. That's
Can I
the
say one
only
thing?
highlight I care about.
Imagine the defensive line. I listen, like you said, I've been on Twitter, fight with people the last few weeks, months, whatever. Imagine the defensive line with Jalen Walker, Jalen Carter, Rook, and James Pierce right now. And no disrespect to Bijan Robinson, but
No. There's not. No. There's no need
not
to
disrespect.
take it.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying though, Tyler Algier was fine, and I've
And
been saying
and,
that forever.
and
I got
here's the
my for
problem
Bijan.
with that whole situation. You see, every time Tyler Algier touches the ball, he's picking up yards and falling forward. Bijan had a hell of a night against Philly, but here's the thing: what softened up that defense was when they started running Tyler Algier, and guys did not want to tackle him, and that made it a lot harder to tackle Bijan because Tyler's going to wear you down physically. So
Can we also look at the coaching staff though, because they are the ones that have to adjust to this. Because look, Ryan, you brought it up with Tyler Algier, and I'll say it like this: Tyler Algier can be a big time weapon for us. All right, I'm not going to argue on that point at all. I think him and Bijan together can really do some damage. Heck, I've said it many times. You need to have them both in the same backfield. Split one out. Confuse the defense some. Even if you're going to just hand the ball off to Tyler, it's okay. My thing is this. You got to have some creativity. This is what my issue has been with the offense coordinator as well as just the Falcons in general. You have weapons. How do you use them? There were times we were wondering where was Tyler, and Tyler wouldn't play or even get
Tyler
anything.
was sipping Gatorade a lot of the
Yeah.
time last season.
And there's no need for that with a guy like that. That's what I'm going to say. So let me answer the question about
I'm just laughing because I love. Listen, I love the optimism of this fan base, but I need y'all. Look, I'm not even gonna rain on y'all parade tonight. You know what? If y'all feel like saying we're gonna be Super Bowl champs this year coming up, guess what? Go for it.
I mean,
but
look,
I believe we get 10 wins this season. I say 10.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man, because this team always there's so many questions I have, and it always goes back to, can you beat the teams you're supposed to? And I just see quite a few games where I could see us going, what the heck happened? They falconed.
Gun. So let me put this out here. The power gun formation is nothing but the pistol formation. That's all it is. And my thing is this: we don't need to run out of pistol no more. Pistol no more. No. If we're going to run out of formations, we need to get a tight end that's going to be a fullback. The kid from South Carolina. If you're not going to use him as a tight end, guess what? Put him or Charlie Warner in that fullback spot and have 3 tight ends on the field. Yeah. And guess what? Start running power I.
Yeah. That's what I would do.
Start back to old school.
Down throat, and run right. Don't get cute and try to run to the opposite. No, just go. It's like this. Remember how Seattle had that dominant left side of their offensive line when they had Sean Alexander? And Sean made a joke. Man, I don't know why everyone was trying to scout us. We were going to go left no matter what because we just knew we had more success. And it's like, this is what we're doing. Stop it. Oh, you can't. And that's where I look at it. If you have a overwhelming advantage, you take it. And I don't, that's just my thought when I think of the Falcons with the offensive line. Now, the primetime game, I think what I like the best about it, Ryan, that no one has really mentioned, we get to up front, but then we get to later in the year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna see like the growth process with us and how Mike has matured through the year. And look, one full year of football, you'll definitely grow. So, and if he doesn't, I don't know what does the trick. But and I don't mean that as a bad thing. I mean it as a good thing. But that's what I'm saying. If anything, I think they're giving us a legit chance. The games that we were in was entertaining. And I think that's what the other thing was. Like the game against Tampa, I think was one of the best Thursday night games, even the NFL said at one time. So, and I think about that game. And I think about the Washington game. So honestly, I could see us maybe getting a few more primetime games, but it's just going to depend on how we handle our business. And if we're a team that's going to not fumble the bag when we need to play at our best. I
Hmm.
really like the rookies. I love Jalen Walker just for the simple fact he's been coached hard by Kirby. It's not like he's not used to being coached hard. It's not like he's going to be overwhelmed because he's been in a defense where you had to know what you were doing. So my think is I think someone like that is going to be a benefit. Think about what the Eagles say a lot when it comes to those players. Man, they came from Georgia. They already knew about details. They already knew what they were supposed to do, what their responsibilities were, what they were supposed to, contribute. And it led to you don't have to overcoach them. So I kind of want to see what they do with him. And like I said, I'm intrigued because it's like this. If we don't have to do a show where we have to talk about Torrey Anderson, I'm happy because, last time he had his best game, he got hurt. And that was always the thing. You got to have guys that can play, and that's what I liked about this draft. You got guys that are basically coming in and they're going to take some jobs because the people that have been on this defense, if you're not up to snuff, I pretty much wouldn't be surprised of some of the releases that could come happen.
Now, here's something I got to bring up, and we're going to talk about it. You got Jameis Winston. It might possibly be the odd man out up in New York. Now, the rumor has it is the New Orleans Saints could possibly trade to bring him back. And we already know that Saints quarterback room really isn't that good. So if you bring him back with Kellen Moore, a veteran who, as much as I hate to say it, for some reason he fits in New Orleans. He fits in down there.
Yeah.
I mean, he fits their system. He plays well against us for some odd reason. It never fails. The only time he didn't play well against us was when he was with Tampa. But it seemed like as soon as he put those ugly colors on, he became a guy that became a thorn in our side to a certain extent. So again, when you sit back and look at it, how much of an impact do you think they could have for their organization? Because they're a mess all the way around right now. And when we see these guys, do you think Jameis Winston and Kellen Moore would be a problem for this Atlanta Falcons defense this season when we have our rivalry games?
Me personally, I think it'd be a big problem. Like you said, you can take all the New Orleans hate out of it. I can't stand New Orleans, but Kellen Moore, who's the offensive guy, coming off a Super Bowl with a veteran quarterback, James Winston, they have a few decent weapons on offense. Think about the offensive line down there. That's gonna be a mess. But if you can implement an offense, quick passing game, get to Olave, get it to Jawan.
So my thing is, and I've told people up front, when you sit back and you look at it, we were in a definite situation to where everybody got happy, everybody was chilling out, everybody was smiling, and everybody is hoping that everything changes at this point. And when I say one thing, the point I'm speaking on is this: they really want to just run the season like Mexican food runs through your stomach with diarrhea. It's just what it is. And I'm just keeping it a buck for you. When
No,
you
I got
sit back, when you sit back and you think about it, man, it's not going to be as easy as what everybody thinks. We've got to take it 1 week at a time. I understand rivalry games. Everybody's like, oh, we need to sweep divisions. I think we go 5-1 in the division. I don't think we sweep the whole division. We gonna give up one division game. I think we're good enough to sweep two out of the 3 teams.
I don't
We
know.
swept the
I'm telling
division
you,
champs last year. Think
man,
about it.
listen,
You swept the division champs last year.
yeah,
You should have
they
beat
go,
Carolina
yeah.
twice this year. We were the better team in both games. The only team that I feel like, and I pray that we don't, I don't want New Orleans to win a damn thing, but I believe we split with Carolina. I think we can sweep New Orleans depending on who's at quarterback.
I'm looking. Here's the problem. This is again. I'm going to go back to last year. I remember saying you better take the Saints seriously when
Mhm.
they were at that rock bottom point. They fired the coach, and I said you better look at this like a damn playoff game. And everyone laughed and said, "Come on, this is the Saints. We got this."
And they ruined. And look, if we would have beat them that day,
Oh
we
yeah,
pretty much we would have walked away with the division. Tampa had no chance.
no, exactly. If we would have won that game, I remember saying you got to look at it like a playoff game because if you win this, they can't. There was no way of them coming back.
Mm-mm.
But you screwed around, and look what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I will tell you that game. It's going to be at New Orleans. Well, here's the thing: the week before is Carolina, and then you still have that Germany trip before that with Indianapolis. That's that whole month. I told you those are 4 games that I can easily see us splitting when we're not supposed to, or that we're going to drop some games because either we think we're too good or we're just not prepared. And the reason I say that is because I look at this coaching staff. Is this coaching staff ready to step up? This is a make or break for Raheem. And that's why I'm looking at this season. I'm not trying to go week by week or no, no, no. I'm not trying to try to, you know, look at all these games and go, oh, we got this one, we got this one. No, because I want to look and go, how are you going to focus for Tampa Bay? How?
Mm.
Because think about it. Week 1, remember when we get one against the Steelers? We looked like crap. Our a kicker beat us. We were outscored by a kicker. No joke. The kicker, I think, had 6 field goals, maybe 7. I can't remember
It was
because it was
Pittsburgh, yeah,
yeah,
6
yeah,
field goals in
Pittsburgh,
that ball
yeah,
game.
and it was Bosworth, and I'm like going, we did nothing but stop them for field goals, and we still couldn't beat them.
And the problem was this: we were
Mm-hmm.
in a position to do a few things,
Yep.
but when you sit back and you look at how that game finished out, Kirk was limited in that situation, and the offensive coordinator, that was his first game actually calling plays as an OC, and
For
he
Kirk.
eventually started to get comfortable.
Yeah.
And you saw what happened in the Kansas City game. You saw what happened in the Philadelphia game. Like the two teams. Here's the thing: the two teams that played in the Super Bowl at this point, we literally beat them. It's what it is. You beat the Eagles in their house. Kansas City got helped out by the refs because Kyle Pitts got tackled and so did Drake London. And what
Oh
would have
yeah.
happened? They would have actually given us the ball back on a pass interference on the one. Guess what? You run that in with Mike. You run that in with Tyler Algier. Don't even
Yeah.
risk Kurt getting hurt. Let the hammer just go ahead and run it
Yeah.
in, and we win the game. And that could have been a changing point of our season right there, beating them, and that probably would have got us in the playoffs with all the other wins we had. But I
Mm-hmm.
don't put that on just the excuse because we had opportunities to score in that game and we put ourselves in a bad spot. Here's the
Yeah.
question I got for you guys. I mean, not for you guys, but what I have for Raheem. You know what your deficiencies were last year. You know
Mm-hmm.
what you messed up on. Are you going to make the same mistakes or are you going to learn from them and actually do something right and put yourself in a spot to win? Because now the spotlight is on you. Terry gave you pieces now. Terry gave you pieces not only in the draft, also in the undrafted free agency market. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
have a schedule that changes up and down when it comes to ebbs and flows of games, and you have to take it one week at a time. But the
Yeah.
first 6 games of this is going to tell you everything you need to know about the Falcons. I see us going possibly 4-2 starting this season off.
Mm.
I think they gotta go.
In the first 6 games, I see us going 4-2. I don't
I
see
do.
us going 6-0. Now if they prove me wrong and go 6-0, I'll be happy. I'll,
Oh
I'll
yeah. We all
gladly
will.
eat crow. But I
Yeah.
think talent wise that we're good enough to go 4-2.
Yeah,
The worst
I
come to
agree.
worst, we go 3-3.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I
3 and 3 is the minimum. I wouldn't be mad with 3 and 3.
yeah.
Now, if they
Yeah.
start off 0-6, then it's a problem.
Big problem.
Oh, if it's 1-5 or 0-6, there'll be a coaching change. Period. I don't see him making it past if they get that low.
See double with this.
Man, StreamYard is StreamYard. I'm gonna pop out and
Yeah.
pop back in. But before I do
Okay.
that, we got Chris Tip Moore in the building from A1 Forever. What's going on, Chris?
What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
Come on
Tip,
in, man. We
what's up,
talking
bro?
about the
What's good?
schedule
How
and
you doing, man?
What's good, Ant?
How's it
Man, just
going?
checking in, man. Checking
How
in.
you doing your thing, brother?
I appreciate you, man. I really do. Seriously,
Yeah.
man.
It's good seeing you, brother.
You ain't right.
Good to always hear from the pit.
Oh yeah, man. I just finished watching old Thunderbolts, man. So I'm on my way home from doing that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. Better than I thought it was gonna be. Really, really is. Really, really. I mean, of course, you can see reviews and stuff like that, but you gotta check it out for yourself.
No
Check it
what's
out
problem
going
for
there.
on, Brandon? Appreciate you stopping through, brother. What's happening? What's
yourself.
happening?
What's up?
Hey, man.
So
I heard y'all guys in here talking Falcons football. Thought it sounded
You
nice.
know it.
man, we've been talking this for a minute.
Yeah, man.
Mhm. Yeah,
You know,
man. Y'all gotta
you know how we
excuse
do
me.
it.
Y'all gotta excuse me, man. I said like I was, because I know even on the interview I was in it, but I was in the theater too. I ain't gonna lie. So it just like
Nah, it's all good. I mean, well, I had to, like I said, having a former Atlanta Hawk NBA basketball player in the building because he played for a couple of teams, but he
Yeah.
definitely said he loved the Atlanta Hawks and he loved the city of Atlanta and loved playing here.
That was
So,
cool.
so I'm not mad at that. I'm happy that we're in a position to where we can get folks like this to come through.
Hey,
So,
man. Yeah.
so speaking of the Falcons, and we're talking about the schedule. We talked about the first 6 games of the season. I see the Falcons being in a position to where they can at least go 4-2, and the worst would be 3-3 in the beginning in the first 6 games. How do you feel about that? Because that's a gauntlet.
it is a gauntlet, man. And to be honest with you, I know last year we was kind of looking at the schedule and saying, "Oh, this gonna be easy. This game gonna be easy and stuff like that."
Yep.
Let's just. I think this year Falcon fans maybe like try to pump the brakes on that just a bit. Not fully, but you know what I'm saying, still just a bit. First 6 games, I really believe, man, if we can put it together and you know what I'm saying as a team and everything, I think 4-2 could be, you know what I'm saying, a good one right there. I know you said 3-3. To be
I
honest
said
with you, I feel
4-2
like
to start off with A1.
yeah,
I said
yeah,
the worst we could go is 3-3, but I'm
yeah,
predicting.
yeah, and I'm with you on that. I'm predicting the same. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm predicting the same as far as like the 4-2. I can
Yeah.
see that. Where and honestly, that's kind of like, I don't want to say it's my worst case scenario because I just feel like if we're not getting 4 wins, we're only going to get 2 wins, and I don't want to be there. So for me, I feel like what I'm saying, the Bucks got the Bucks. They the measuring stick. They the division champs. Then so of course you go on the road. You get a chance to get some revenge against the Vikings. I know you're coming back home against the Commanders. I feel like we owe them as well. I'm just like really looking at the matchups. It's like the first 6 games, most of them are like revenge games or measuring sticks, especially that Buffalo game. So that Buffalo game, you gotta have all 3 phases on that Buffalo game.
Yeah.
I mean, really every game, but it's just like that one right there. Buffalo coming. Them fans are coming. We're gonna have to spot for Josh Allen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so much that they do for him. And, of course, you remember, don't forget about old James Cook, who's definitely coming to his own now. So, again, that defense. Yeah.
And that's why
But
I
I think
said
we
that
can get the Bills, though. I do think we can get the Bills, though. As crazy as it may sound, I know that they're tough. They're hard as nails, tough as nails, should I say. But I really believe that if we can be what we think we are or can be, and coaching, players, execution, I really do think that we can probably possibly be like at least 4-2, maybe more. It all depends. It just all depends on what we do. Because let's just be honest. Did anybody that season see us starting out 5-0 and then all of a sudden just dropping off of a cliff? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could work. It could work in our favor this time. You never know.
As Mr. said in the color purple, could be not.
Could be not.
I had to pull out a little old Danny Glover for you one time.
Yeah, man.
I said,
Could be not.
Could be not. Who's to say?
Let's see.
Hey, because all I'm gonna say is this here: let you mess around and miss the playoffs again. And Myles Garrett came in and he talked about it yesterday. And the one thing that he said was, there's a chance that if they don't win within 5, think about it. It's been 5 years since Terry's been here now. Year 5. And if you don't win and Raheem is tied to you, guess what? You might be out the door.
Maybe.
And the thing is, you'll be good. And the thing is, they already said Raheem will possibly be out the door too, because guess what? They signed off on 2 kids that came in the first round. So if you don't win this year, don't think that you're going to be safe, because it seems like Arthur Blank's son is more cutthroat than he is. And you saw that type of vibe you got during the draft. When they said, hey, you're your boss. Think about that. When you saw Blank's son, it was a different aura about him than it is the old man. Am I lying?
That's true.
I don't think you're lying. I actually think you're so to the point with that. You could tell he did not have where Arthur likes to have that jovial kind of persona. Yeah, that was something that I noticed about Mr. Blank, the son, because he didn't have that. He kind of looked like,
What's going on, TriStar?
Yeah, I mean, because it's his grandson, correct?
No, that's his son.
That's his boy.
Okay.
That's his son.
What's going on, TriStar? Welcome to the cage.
Oh, thanks for having me on, man. First time on here. I seen the schedule got released today, and I think we have the potential to have a good season this year.
There you go.
I think we'll probably end up, like I said, I think we're going to have a 10-win season this year. And there's a lot of, how can I put it? If we're competent enough, we could have a 10-win season. I still think it's going to be a lot of growing pains because you got a rookie quarterback, and this defense is going to be under a new defensive coordinator. Even though some things are similar, everybody's going to be a little bit different. When you talk about how the defense is run under Jeff Ulbrich, it's going to be a little bit more aggressive than it was. So some guys are going to have to take time to learn the system, but I see 10 wins. 10-7, to me, I feel like 10-7 is my prediction for the season. If they get more than that, cool. If they get less than that, I'll be sick.
Yeah.
I think we get 11.
Exactly.
I think we can get 11-6. I said 12-5 last year. I think we can do at least 11-6. And I think we're going to get at least 1 or 2 games that it'd be like, woo, Falcons, y'all had to pull that out the fire. You know what I'm saying? I really do believe we're going to have a couple games. No, seriously, I believe we're going to win a couple games that maybe we should have lost. You know what I'm saying? Because we know, and we really hardly ever had that happen. But I think maybe this year can be that year. It'd be like, oh man, but the Falcons pulled it out. You know.
Well, remember the Atlanta Falcons. Anytime, like, think about it. The last time we started off with last time we've started off with a week 1 opener with Tampa Bay was 2016, and we ended up going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that's true.
So I'm not saying that it'll happen, because you got a guy that's a rookie, technically is a rookie quarterback, and he's finally going to be able to prove himself, because again, I think he's going to make great plays, but I also know that he's going to make mistakes, and I need him to learn, because this technically is his first year.
It is.
Yep.
But now if we in year 3 and 4, he making rookie mistakes, then I got to start questioning some stuff.
Yeah, you got to get that 2x twice. But I will say this. You know, we could win 7 games. We could win 12. It depends on, can we win the games we're supposed to win, and surprise some people. You know, win some games that you weren't picked to win. You know, can we not just show up and actually show that, hey, we're just as good as the team as this team is. And like I said, man, just don't play down to the competition. I hate when we do that crap or lose the games that don't lead the league in dams. Don't you make the Falcon fan base through the year go, damn it, what were we thinking? What the hell? God dang, damn. Because that's when I think of the Falcons. It's like if you ever want to have a good, wonder what sum up your Falcon season, just say the word damn. There you go. They lead the league in it. It's either the coach, the assistant, somebody.
I told you since it's all fellas on the panel. I told you earlier what it's like being in a relationship with. You got that fine female that you see out in the street. You talking to her. You got her home. She takes care of you and does everything else, and you feeling real good and comfortable. But the next thing you hang out with your boys. Y'all, they want to go get some wings at the establishment called Magic City, and you see your girl dancing on the stage, and you about to lose your mind. That is how the Falcons do, fans. That is the best way to describe the Falcons.
That's a heck of an analogy, man.
But it's true. It is so true.
Now, keep in mind, though. That's not the only one. You got Hungry as F. You got J.R. Crickets. I mean, you got some great choices.
Man, Crickets had been the same since 2000, man. It's not the same no more. But I understand what you're saying, though. Crickets used to be the spot, but another spot that used to be jumping back in the day for my true ATLians or whatnot. If you remember Homebox or whatnot, that was a spot that had some of the best wings in the city, man. They called it Chicken on Crack, right over there by the HBCU Center. So if you know about Homebox, the homemade blue cheese, it definitely was a banger back in the day. But
now I'll tell you, one of my favorites. I know we're getting in the wings like randomly, but it's over there in the Bluff. It's like a little food truck. I think was it Hot Atlanta Wings or ATL Wings or something like that. That I love that.
Right offhand, but I
can't. Don't make me chase down a bunch of food trucks. I will do that, man. I got, I love me some wings. I sell my soul for some good wings. I tell you what. But anyway,
listen, brother. They know me personally at Magic City because every time I come down to the city, I go in there and get the Lou Wheels, and they're like, "Oh, you pulled your truck up here again?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Wow,
man, gotta keep
my truck.
Hold on.
I will literally drop my trailer there in Union City and then bobtail it to Magic City and give you some wings.
Oh, TriStar walks in. They go, "Yes, we have your table here, sir. Come on in. Your order's already been placed. Come on in."
Man, but when you sit back and you really look at it,
good.
That's the best way. Just get back to it. That's the best way to describe the Falcons when you talk about being in a relationship with the Falcons. For the ladies, because we got lady Falcon fans, I don't want to lead them out there. That's like you having a man that you think everything is right. You got everything there, and he got a woman and a whole family on the other side of town. I'm telling you, that's pretty much
or on the same side of town.
Exactly. And think about it. And being in a relationship with the Falcons is an abusive relationship. This is a relationship.
Oh, God, don't get me started.
No, just think about it, man. And I'm not going to keep going on, but I got to throw the analogy out there. But let's be honest. It's like being in a marriage that's broken permanently, and you can't fix it. But you're going to keep coming back for more just because you love it. And you're that dumbfounded where you just let them break you down. It's just awful.
Yes.
Okay, my parents.
Well, see, me growing up in. Sorry.
No, go ahead, TriStar.
Go ahead, man. Good.
Well, I was going to say, me growing up in Chattanooga, we're actually closer to Atlanta than we are to Knoxville. There's a huge Falcons contingent in Chattanooga. So, I went to Falcons games as a kid. My dad used to work for Coca-Cola down in Atlanta, so we got some good tickets for, let's just say, a discounted price. I'll never forget the first playoff game I ever went to was it was either 2003 or 2004, and it was that game where Michael Vick went off against the Vikings. I was there for that.
Hey, dope.
Oh.
Now that's dope.
And
This is
I
good,
don't
man.
think
You
people
was there, bro?
understand. Yes, I was there.
Oh my God.
Like literally, I remember going to me and my dad went to. That's why I have such fond memories of the Georgia Dome. Because one of my first memories, I know it's not a Falcons related thing, but it involves Georgia Dome. Rest in peace. One of my first memories, July 6, 1998, in the Georgia Dome. Goldberg beats Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
I was there.
I was there.
Oh my God.
I was way up in the upper deck, but by God, I was there.
I was at the God. Where were we? 300 level.
And what's
And
funny
what's
is
funny
because
is the whole Falcons team was there that night. They all got in the ring.
Yeah.
yeah, they did. And apparently, from what I'd heard, it was after Nitro, Goldberg and his old Falcons and UGA teammates, they were throwing racks down there in Magic City afterwards.
Yes, they were.
like he went in there with a belt and everything.
Oh.
Let's just
And,
say that story was told, and it's true. I've talked to a few former Falcon players that played on the '98 team, and and they talked about it or whatnot, and they said it's all true.
Oh yeah.
Man,
I'll never forget that night. I'll never forget that night. That was a fun night.
People forget
Yes, sir.
Goldberg played up the street at UGA
He
for
did.
a while before he became a pro wrestler, and and Prime was one of his boys. So he used to. And think about it. Why do you think his son is going to Colorado right now?
Yeah, there you
Right
go.
now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
He was literally Prime's protector. If y'all don't remember, so you brought Goldberg up. Now I remember.
And you remember Goldberg, like if y'all seen the interview, how highly he speaks of Prime.
Yeah,
Like,
he does.
they like brothers for real.
Like seriously, because when Prime was a punt returner, Prime said, "I know one person I didn't have to worry about." He said, he had my back. And then even in the locker room, when some dudes wanted to test him, hey,
Goldberg.
Yeah, you got to talk to Goldberg about it.
Yeah. Well,
you had some big uglies back then, but yeah, Goldberg, yeah, I remember.
Between him and you talk about Oliver Barnett, Bill Goldberg on that defensive line. I mean, I ain't gonna mention Andre Bruce because that's a disappointment to me.
We try not to. Don't worry, Andre Bruce doesn't even talk about himself.
But I mean, but you look at that team back in that time, it's the craziest times to be a Falcons fan, and I became a fan in '91. So I watched a lot of those games, and if you came to the Birdcage party last year when we beat the Saints, my mom kind of told people that the embarrassing story about me as a child in diapers. Being a kid in Atlanta, probably about a year, maybe two. I was 15 months old. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was a year and some months. Standing in front of the little black and white TV my grandfather had on the back porch by the grill. Run, run, in a diaper. Now, I'm 15 months. Kid you not. She tells this story all the time. And that's why I said I've been baptized in Falcons football since I was in diapers.
I'm literally at my grandmother's house, at Mama's house. I've got a signed Algie Crumpler football, for God's sakes.
Wow.
Oh man.
I do one even better for you, my guy.
We're about to go in the vault. Here we go.
I have a Deion Sanders signed Atlanta Falcons football, and it's authentic. Here's the tag right here. And you got the number.
I just got a picture of AJ Styles with me. That's it.
But that's the thing, man.
I might get rid of this one though. My little cousin, it was a gift for me. He got me a signed ball by Kyle Pitts. Knowing that I'm not a Gator fan, he did that to give me a bit of a rib.
Oh my God. Hold on. I could have seen it. Oh, yeah. I got you this. It's a signed Falcon autograph.
But hold on, he's a dog fan, but he knows I'm not the biggest Pitts fan in the world. And he messed with me. He said, "Cuz, I got you something." So it sits here in the office, and you know what I'm saying? He's a Falcon. My cousin is one of the top returning players in 4A. Y'all look out for him. Jackson Hampton at Hill Hills High School, running back, outside linebacker, defensive end. He does everything. So y'all please keep on the lookout for him. He's one of these kids, 3.6 GPA, and is one of the top players in 4A. So y'all keep looking for him.
Good, man.
Nice.
Yeah, Georgia Tech's looking at him, and I'm like, look, I love you, but I told him, you go to Tech, brother, I will support you, but the day that y'all play Georgia, don't ask me to put them colors on.
I'm no engineer. I'm a bulldog.
Look, and knowing him, but no, I was saying, knowing Jackson, he'll probably end up having one of them days and say, "Cuz, I scored 3 for you. What you go do? I scored 3 for you. Come on over here, give me some love." I can see him now messing with me, but you know, wherever he goes, I'm supporting him. But you know, like I said, I had to throw it up that he's up right now. He's supposed to be sleeping, but I had to shout him out or whatnot. But
good job, man.
But lastly, let's get to the last thing I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna wrap it up because I've been on for 2 hours tonight because I did an interview earlier and we did this here. So shout out to K-Dub. He did his thing with me on this interview with Mr. Ollie Johnson, former Atlanta Hawk. Appreciate you, K-Dub, for putting in that work tonight. Awesome job. But lastly, I'll say this about the Falcons. Competency is the word. Accountability is the second word. Those are the 2 words that need to the season. Am I competent? Am I accountable? If you can face yourself in the mirror, whether it's Raheem Morris, whether it's his players. Terry was accountable for the mistakes and shortcomings. Terry atoned for those with this draft and these undrafted free agents.
Yeah.
How does Raheem redeem himself in this situation? How does he turn all the negative press around, and how does he garner the respect of this fan base again? How does Jeff Ulbrich win the fans over? He took accountability.
Yeah.
How does he get deeply competent enough to protect the lead that Michael Penix and his offense don't get? Those are the questions. We can answer them all day, but they got to answer them with their play on the field.
Yep.
That's absolutely true.
So TriStar, I know you was geeked up. You got a Tennessee volunteer that was a first-round pick for the Falcons. I know you were geeked about James Pierce Jr. coming, but you know he took second fiddle to a Georgia Bulldog, so you know I'm gonna rub that in a little bit. Got to, man. Look, got to take a shot.
Like I said, if that Tennessee volunteer shows up and plays, guess what? I'll root for. I'm gonna root for him. Don't worry. I mean,
he was one of the most disruptive players in the SEC.
Yeah.
So
look,
again,
I will say this: when I did my mock drafts, I always looked for Jalen Walker. I couldn't get Jalen, then I trade down, and then the guy I always going after, I ended up getting would be Pierce, and then we go from there. So I actually like the idea of getting him. Surprised what we gave, but yet I'm okay with it because, hey, this is basically Terry going, man, this is a do or die. We got to do something and give it up. So now this goes back to what you kind of said. All right, Raheem, here you go. What you going to do? Not only did I get you 1, I got you 2. And then I got 2 more bad boys in the backfield. So this is something that I'm intrigued by.
Okay.
And like I said, man, the competency, I like that competency and also the accountability. The best way to do it, guys, is real simple. Don't be yapping. Don't be tap dancing. Just coach. Get these guys to play to their best of their ability. Let's win some games.
Okay. Everyone.
Well, not gonna lie to you guys, and not gonna do a whole lot of talking right now. It's just time to show up and show out. I mean, that was good. That what you said about the redeem. So this is pretty much the redeem
Mhm.
team for Raheem. And Terry, even though I feel like saying he's still going to be on the hot seat as well, he did his job. You know, he went and got us those players. Now, I didn't mock draft James Pearson any mock that I did. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Was I surprised by that it was him selected? Yes, I was. But at the end of the day, guess what? He red and black, so that means he with the crew, and I'm with him. So I'm expecting big things from him. I'm expecting to see the reason why, or all the reasons why, on an NFL level, why Terry was so hell bent to really just go get him. And him and Jalen Walker, I believe that they're going to be a dynamic duo for us. And I can't wait to get after it, y'all. Lace them up. Lace them
Anthony,
up.
Yeah.
what you got before we wrap this up, man?
Well, schedule is out. You see what's going on, man. It's been 7 years, though. I mean, listen, it's time that all the talking is over with, man. Teams do it all the time. Teams that miss the playoffs make the playoffs, make it. Washington just did it. They ain't made the conference championship since 1990 or whatever. It can happen. Not saying it's gonna happen, but right now, just make the playoffs first and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Give me 9-8, 5% and 7. That's a playoff team. What the coaching
Hmm.
staff gonna do? Are they a better coaching staff? Can they develop these young guys they got? It's a question, man. To get it done.
Okay. And Kool-Aid, I see you. Yeah, play the right players at the right time. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You and my thing was I talked about Tyler Algier. You got to
Mm-hmm.
put him in like game one. That I know people are expecting Bijan, but I'm just gonna say this: you
Set the
use
tone with
Bijan
them.
in game one, but game one has to be the Tyler Algier show because you're talking about 800 pounds, damn near 800 pounds on that defensive line with
Mm-hmm.
Desmond Watson and Vita Vea, and right there in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to get look. You got to use Tyler. Use him. Don't let him be a nice ornament. Put him out there. Let him play. Let him get dirty. And then, like you said, then let Bijan kill him in the second half or whatever. It's not that hard. But I will say though, Bijan did play well against the Buccaneers. Look, I will not disrespect Bijan after him trying to block Peter Vea. Did he do a great job? No, but you know what he did? He stayed in it. And I remember somebody on the announcing was like, "I can't believe he even tried." And
I think he was tired of hearing a lot of
yeah,
us because the one
hmm
thing, and Ant can tell you this true. I
yeah,
said he was suspect at blocking when we got him.
yeah, yeah,
Right.
Absolutely.
I
That's
said
not a
and I
that's
got
not even
clowned
hard.
about that. And there was you just hating because y'all didn't take Jalen Carter. You just mad they didn't take a Georgia player. Nope. I'm telling you that the dude wasn't a blocker.
That's all
He
you said.
worked on his craft and he literally showed you that he was not afraid to step up and actually block.
Exactly.
So
I mean, he took
that was
pride
one
in
of
that.
his
That was something I was impressed with.
because that wasn't one of his strong suits when he was at Texas. He wasn't asked to pass block like that.
Yeah,
I think
So
it's long now. I ain't gonna lie to you.
You gotta
I
understand
Yeah,
still
something.
at
I think
least
it's
it's
gotten
trending. I'll tell you this, it's trending in the right direction. I'll give
yeah.
him that.
I was
yeah.
gonna say I think it's gotten better, but I don't think it's at the point to where you can just say, all right, you can just leave him out.
Hold on. Let's be honest.
You,
If we're saying Bijan's blocking, we don't want him to do that for a living. We want him to do the other things. But as
Mm-hmm.
long as you're an above blocker and you're making your right plays, your right reads, that's fine. That's all we're asking. Because he's
I
doing
don't
a lot.
here's my problem.
Yeah.
If I gotta rely on him having to block all the time in pass
Yeah, I wouldn't
interference,
do that.
That's not good.
I got a problem with my offensive line's pass protection.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That's a
So
big problem.
I'm saying that's not good. So we don't want to see either one of our running backs doing that on a consistent basis.
Yeah. Let
facts.
let them run.
So C Dub, because you was in first, I need you to go ahead and let the people know where they can find you. A1, I got you, and Anthony, I appreciate you for coming through, my brother. Definitely got you. We'll see you next time. And we're going to get these plugs in and we're going to wrap this show up and we'll call it a night, fellas.
All right. Well, look, my phone's dying anyway. So look, if you want to find me, it's real quick. C28 on YouTube. We are doing the Morning Madness crew. We're going to take another week off because, football kind of gives us in and out stuff. We don't really get anything really major until something just drops. So once we get something, we'll do a show. Who knows? I might get this guy named Ryan from the Birdcage to show up again. Because I'll tell you what, ever since he shows up, man, we end up having too much fun. But yeah, we kind of do a little serious style. We cut up. We are ourselves. We don't BS. And we do the same with Wrestle Take. We give our honest opinions. And not only that, but we also try to give it to where, look, you're watching the show. Remember, these people are people too. So that's kind of where we go from with the wrestling. And with the Falcons, it's simple, folks. If you're a positive fan, that's cool. We're not trying to rain on your parade. All we're saying is you got to be realistic. Things. There are so many things that still hasn't happened that we won't know until we kick the ball off. So we're excited too. We've been through this. We've been in a toxic relationship. So we've seen the signs. Don't make us relive the relationship. It gets a little painful at times.
Hey, Ant, I'm sorry. I didn't know you had socials that you was throwing in. Normally, you just pop off. If you want to come back real quick and throw your socials in here, you can, bro. I do apologize, man.
Hey, I'm out. So peace out.
All
Appreciate it, Brian.
What's going on, A1? Go ahead and get a folks
Hey,
your plugs.
Hey man, thank you for extending the invite. Like, sorry for being so late. Like I said, we're checking out old Thunderbolts. Hey man, I feel like it's worth a watch. Y'all go check it out if you haven't already. But speaking of Thunderbolts, that's what I'm ready to hit everybody with in the NFL. Since Falcons are on the way back up, that everybody know. And speaking of being up, A1 Forever Sports. We're continuously working. Over there, and that's the where you can find me mostly. You also can find me at the Hawks Digest because I know we just crossed over 1,500 over there, so that's growing. Shoot, man, appreciate all the support, of course. It's in Twitter, A1 Forever, same for Instagram, and the real A1 Forever on TikTok, man. Like I said, appreciate the invite again, my brother.
Hey, man, you already know how it goes, man. You always welcome here, your extended family. We got other extended family that we try to get through, but, they have other shows that they're doing, so we'll try to get them when we can. So, man, if y'all also didn't check out the interview today, we had for NBA legend. He also played for the Atlanta Hawks. We had Mr. Ollie Johnson to come through, talk about his NBA career and also his career in the community, and it was just amazing. Talking about Hawk and 76er who played in the finals. So please, please, please check out that interview. As I said before, man, we definitely appreciate y'all for tagging in. This was the schedule show for the Falcons, a little pop-up that we did right after the interview. Just wanted to have the fans to come in and have an opportunity to talk about what you would like to see this year and also what your expectations are. This isn't going to be the last time we do it, but again, we have to do a little something birdcage style, be a little different from everyone else. Dare to be different, A lot of folks, they're doing their own schedule predictions, but we want the fans to have access to coming in and talking about it firsthand. So, again, thank you for tuning in. This is your boy, the Historian. I'm out. Shout out to the magnificent Birdcage crew. My guys always doing that thing from K-Dub, Graybeard, Scoop, Turbo, Coach Brent. Praying for you, baby. We know it's some hard times right now. We got you covered. And then we also got our guy Big Meltdown. So y'all check us out every Thursday at 8 p.m. We got you covered. You either get right or you get left. We got some future interviews coming up too. So y'all stay tuned for that. Catch you next time.